So today I am creating a strength and conditioning template, a workout routine for myself. So I do use a template I program on my iPhone notes. What I've done today is put it on an Excel sheet. It's going to be based on my training and what I'm doing. Obviously you can take that information away and apply it to yourself. So pretty much what I'm going to do is go through my training goals, a split, deciding what days to train, a template, a really easy repeatable template where you could just drop in exercises and do that repeatedly every block or so, and then give you an example live of me programming my own training for a block as well. So yeah, let's get into it. So pretty much with this Excel sheet, really easy. I've just done it so it's a bit easier to explain everything. So we'll start off with choosing your training goal. So for me particularly at the moment, I'm doing Couch to 5k, so I'm about 3-4 weeks in now doing that. Initially with my training I was doing a lot of always doing 2-3 days a week of strength and conditioning, so that would be upper, lower, full body. At the moment what I've noticed the last few weeks is I'm getting really fatigued, especially when I'm trying to do leg work in the gym. I just don't have the strength and I just feel a little bit more fatigue, and yeah, that's just my nervous system trying to get used to running, and the fatigue from that is affecting my strength training essentially. So my training goal is increase my performance for running, reduce risk of injuries. I am dealing with a bit of an Achilles tendon or tendonitis issue at the moment. So yeah, increase performance, still maintain a good physique as well, and work on my strength and power and then qualities as well. I'm just going to put running 5k and working on, I can't spell, performance. Okay. That's going to bug me, so I'm just going to change that. Yeah, so let's go on to the second part. So choosing your training split and the days that you are going to train. So for me, taking into account the fatigue that I've been getting and feeling a little bit more in the gym, I was doing 3 days a week, so upper, lower, full body. You can still do that. I think for me, I'm just going to stick to 2 full body days and an additional rehab and kind of prehab day. I'm not going to program that rehab day into this because it'll be a bit more specific to me. But if you do want to see how I would program a rehab session, yeah, definitely just comment down below and I can do that in another video. So I'm going to stick to 2 days of training, so that would be 2 full body sessions a week, and on top of that 3 days of running as well. So how that would look for my schedule, so ideally I want the runs spaced out a day in between. So Tuesday probably put a run, Thursday probably put a run, Friday probably put a run as well. Wednesday I'd probably do I'll just put gym one there, and potentially, just because I do train on a Sunday with my friend, Sunday I'll probably put the second full body session. So a few heavy days there in terms of training. Monday rest day, at least I've got a day in between with the running, and with the gym stuff works out pretty well because I've done 3 days on, 1 day off, 2 days on, 1 day off. So in terms of my recovery and nervous system, I think I should be pretty good on that front. So number 3 now, we're going on to the good stuff now. So this looks dead complex. I promise you it's not. I'm going to go through it now with you. So if you're doing 2 full body sessions, basically what I've done here is I've structured it in a way where we're hitting every movement pattern at least once a week. Obviously in an ideal world we'd want to hit it kind of twice a week, but honestly the last few years I've been doing full body sessions, or with training where I've done 2 full body sessions for months and months on end. I've had no kind of issues with injuries. My performance has actually increased massively, and my fitness as well, and it's not hindered anything at all. So yeah, that's just a bit of a side note with that. So 2 full body sessions. So I'll just go through kind of the movement patterns we're going to hit in each one, and then I'll program in live my exercises that I would put in terms of myself. So full body session 1, always with both sessions, I'm going to start off with power or plyometric type exercises. So examples with that might be pogos, box jumps, anything kind of lateral hops, any drop box, counter movement jumps, anything like that where you're producing power or working on tendon stiffness or qualities of the lower limb. That's what you want to ideally be doing there. That can be med ball stuff as well, throws, anything like that. Number 3 is a hinge movement, so that will be one of your compounds. For me, for example, like a trap bar deadlift is brilliant, quite athletic. The learning curve isn't as steep compared to kind of the other movements. So hinge would be one of the main primary strength movements. The other 2 primary strength movements will be horizontal push and pull. So for example, dumbbell bench press, dumbbell rows, kind of barbell variations as well. I do put that in a superset, so you do them one after the other, or you can have like a 30-second to 60-second break if you are going heavier, and then you'd rest kind of a few minutes in between that as well. Number 5 is a secondary, I guess like a secondary strength movement. So you've got your primaries, which are the number 3, 4A and 4B. And then number 5, I'd class it as a secondary, so a type of lunge, a lunge variation, so you work that movement pattern. And then number 6 is you could do really individual superset, triset of a carry, core, isolation work. So anything where, for example, you could do like a farmer's carry, you could do a core exercise, you could do a bit of isolation work as well for the calf. So yeah, that's full body session 1. Full body session 2, very, very similar, to be honest, just a few changes. So keep the first 2 the same. Number 3 is a squat instead, so back squat, front squat, anything like that. 4A, 4B, similar to the other session, whereas instead of doing horizontal, we're doing vertical. So examples for that would be vertical push, shoulder press, vertical pull, pull-ups with that. In terms of a secondary or a supportive movement for the main ones, we've got a hinge there, so RDLs, kettlebell RDLs, staggered RDLs, anything at all, again to help with that. And yeah, lastly, same again, carry, core, isolation work. Again, you can do that in a individual exercise, superset, triset, any kind of structure you want to do there pretty much. So yeah, let's go through me programming this live on here. So I'll just put some ideas of a program I'm probably going to use. I may tweak it a little bit, but yeah, these are generally what I do on a monthly basis. Let's start off with full body session 1. So power plyometrics. So what we can do there is double leg pogos. So as if you're skipping, or another sort of simpler term is doing some hops. Potentially, if we're doing it as a first week of a block, so a block would be 4 weeks of training. I'm going to get to that in the sort of second section of it. Let's just say, for the sake of it, 2 sets or maybe 10 to 15 reps. Perfect. So we've got the first one there. Second one, potentially do the counter movement jump. So you could really do a box jump or a squat jump. So counter movement jump, same again, 2. I might do maybe 3 reps with that. That's fine. Center this. Okay. Next one. So hinge. So I mentioned this before. Trap bar deadlift. Can't spell to save my life. Right. Same again, 2 sets. May do potentially 6 to 8 reps with this, again depending on your goals and where you are with your training. For me, I'd probably keep it between 4 to 6 reps with that. So horizontal push and pull, as we mentioned, it's a superset. So horizontal push, I might do dumbbell bench press, and then here I might do dumbbell rows, for example, and that might be chest supported, it might be freestanding. Here I'd probably just do it, I do a variation where you put the bench at 45 degrees and you rest your head at the top bit, and you're in like a semi kind of hinge position, and it is a little bit more challenging on the hamstrings and sort of still core stability, but I do like that variation. But yeah, any kind of variation there. Same again, 2 sets. I'll probably leave this between, again, 4 to 6 reps potentially. If I want to work a little bit more volume initially, I might bump that up to 6 to 8 reps on the first set, or the first week rather, and then yeah, bump that down as the weeks go. So we'll keep that there. Lunge, I may do a, for example, a Bulgarian split squat, or I might do a lateral lunge to change the movement pattern, because everything's been kind of forward and backwards, nothing's been lateral. But yeah, for this case, I'll just put Bulgarian split squat. Same again, 2, probably do a little bit more volume there, slightly less weight, 6 to 8 reps with that. And then lastly here, so for me, what I'm probably going to do is potentially do a superset. So what that would look like is so single leg calf raise superset, so that's SS is superset, with maybe a Zercher carry or Zercher carry. Just move this across. Zercher carry. So that's basically where you put the bar or the barbell kind of there, lift it up, and then you do a farmer's walk essentially. Reason why I'm putting single leg calf raise is again a bit more accessory work, particularly for my Achilles and for my calf health. I don't want to get injuries with my running, so I'm going to put that in as well. Another, I guess, with the, I mentioned this at the start, I probably will do like a rehab session where I can add in additional things as well, for my Achilles and then for my knee as well. I've got some existing weakness there, so some isolation work which I might mention in the second part, or the second full body session. But for this single leg calf raises, I might do same again, 2 rounds, 10 to 12 reps, and then so center this, 2 sets, 10 to 12 reps of the calf raises, and then get onto the carry, maybe do 20-30 seconds, I won't put it here, but 20-30 seconds, come back, rest a minute and a half, and go again, do another round. Other bits you can do, I think for me, single leg knee extensions, because my knee's a bit dodgy. Do some of the variations of calf raises, which I'll probably put in the other session. We can go from there. So yeah, pretty much that's one session done. Really easy. As I said, I do this on a monthly basis, does not take long at all. That's the first session. Second session, very similar. We're just going to tweak a few things here. So pretty much similar. What I tend to do is I do like doing pole goals on both days. Again, specific to me as a new runner. I do want to keep my tendon health really good, and that sort of tendon strength and power as well. So I am going to do probably some form of pole goals. Again, might be single leg, might be staggered. Instead of going forward, I might go sideways instead and do some lateral work. Yeah, that pretty much stays the same with that. Same again, I'm just going to copy and paste that, so it'll be the same reps and sets. Second exercise, I may do potentially a little bit more impact work. Again, you can do a type of jump, or maybe, for example, like a med ball lateral slam. So anything kind of power related. Again, you can do a type of jump again. Another good one is jumping or stepping off a box and landing and going into a reactive vertical jump. That's a good movement as well. I think because I've already done sort of a counter movement jump there, add some pogos, and I've done pogos again here. I think I'm going to keep it sort of less impact with that, just so I can get a bit of rotational work in there as well. So same again, probably 2 to 3 sets there. I'm going to try and change this, so I have to keep doing it. Perfect, so we've got them. So squat, for me, really like doing front squat. Same again, probably the same amount of reps. So really, you can see a pattern here. Everything does look quite similar in terms of the reps and the sets. It's all dependent on the type of exercise and what goals you have for that. If you're doing more maximal strength, less reps. If you're doing a bit more sort of relative strength, you might go slightly higher reps, for example. Yeah, it's all dependent on your goals as well. If you're doing more strength, you do heavier. If you're going more power, you've got the force velocity curve. Again, it's a whole other thing. If you want to see a video on that, let me know down below, and I'll go into that a bit more deeper and try and simplify. Vertical push and pull, my favourites. I do so dips and pull-ups. So typically I do these weighted. I use a dumbbell, I use a plate with a belt. Yeah, really good movement. Same again, I'd probably do the same as that, 4 to 6 reps initially. Again, if you can only do body weight, you might go slightly higher reps. Dips wise, if you can't do full bar dips, you might do it on a bench instead. And 4 to 6 might not be as effective because it might be a bit too easy, so you might bump that up to maybe 10 to 12 reps. But yeah, same again, one after the other. Typically I rest about 30 to 60 seconds in between each because it really takes it out of me. But yeah, and then you rest 2-3 minutes after you've done kind of both, and then you crack on. Number 5, hinge secondary position or secondary exercise. With this, again, depends. Typically I like doing, or I might do like a kettlebell RDL. That might be normal stance, staggered stance where one foot slightly more forward. With that, again, with my left knee, I like doing, or I've been doing a bit more staggered, so I'll probably put that as staggered for me. As I said, for you, you can just change it to kind of whatever you want to. And then the last exercise, so here what I'd probably do, or again, depends, I might switch out a couple of things sort of later on. One superset, sorry, you can hear the sounds in the back. One superset I have been doing, and I'd probably put it in here, would be heavy eccentric single leg calf raise, superset with single leg knee extensions. Extensions. Okay, so let's explain these. So heavy eccentric single leg calf raises, I should really write 2 up and 1 down. So essentially what you do, you go a lot heavier, you use both feet to go up, and then you take one off and then lower with one, and then up and then one. So you're only working really the eccentric phase, so the lowering portion. So you're heavily emphasizing on that and overloading in that portion, which is really good for tendon health, and especially when you're running, you're putting a lot of force through the tendons as well. So I'd probably, with that, also I didn't write the sets here, so that would be 2 sets, I'd say 6 to 8 reps. So I didn't realise I didn't put that in. So yeah, back to here. So because we are going heavier, I'd probably go a lot lighter. So sorry, not lighter, less volume. So 2 sets, to be honest, like 4 to 6 reps. And then with the single leg knee extensions, I'd probably do 2 sets, probably a bit more volume. Again, depending, anywhere from 10 to 15 reps maybe, or 8 to 12 reps, depending on kind of how you feel with that. I'll probably keep it between 8 and 12, just because I don't want to fatigue my legs too much, particularly for when I am running as well. Pretty much only do like 1 exercise here. For me personally, my knee has been dodgy. It's not giving me any issues in the last few weeks, thanks to some new insoles and trainers. But at the same time, I do want to add in a little bit of isolation work just to keep that ticking over and keep it strengthened. So yeah, for me, 8 to 12 reps sounds about right with that. In terms of rest periods between each power exercises, I'd say 2 to 3 minutes rest in between each set. Strength, 3 to 5 minutes, or I usually keep it at 3. Here, probably 2 to 3 minutes for the upper body stuff. Same again, probably 2 to 3 minutes for that strength stuff. And then here, for this one, I'd probably say sort of the full body session one, the last exercises, the accessories, I'd probably say 60 to 90 seconds. For this one, I'd probably say a little bit longer, so maybe 90 seconds to 2 minutes. But really, once you are doing like the single leg knee extensions, you are resting the calf anyway, so you could probably reduce that down a little bit. So that's basically a workout program in a nutshell. Really easy to do. Yeah, no real issues there. Very easy to put together. What I do want to go through is lastly is the progression. So how would you take that, and you know, you've got your sets and reps, but how would you progress that really easily for someone who maybe doesn't have as much training experience, or has some extra training experience, but with what you see online, you know, I used to get dead confused because people would tell you all sorts of things. So this is really simple. I'll try and keep it easy. So week 1, 2 sets of each exercise. I should really write this. So usually the week 1 I use it as a reload or intro week. I got this from one of my good friends who used to coach me. But this is how he structures it, and I've used it ever since with myself and a couple of my clients. So week 1, 2 sets of every exercise. RPE 6-7. So RPE is rate of perceived exertion. So really easily, the best way I can describe it is it's a scale of 0 to 10, and it's how tired you are basically. So if you did if you said, for example, RPE, I don't know, 7, tank. So yeah, if you said RPE 7, the reps left in the tank would be 3, basically. So it adds up to 10. So if I said RPE 8, so that's a higher effort level. 0's no effort or very low effort. 10 is sort of the maximal effort. If I said 7, best way to kind of understand that in easier terms is I've got 3 left. If I said I've got RPE 7, I've got 7 reps in the tank. If I've said RPE 6, that would be 4 reps left in the tank. So the higher the RPE, the more you're exerting yourself, the less reps you're going to have in the tank, probably the more heavy or more intense you're going. So in this case, the intro week, 2 sets, RPE 6-7. So if we look here, about 3 to 4 reps in the tank, low volume, just going to chill out, get used to the movements, not really go heavy, for example. Week 2, bump it up 3 sets, RPE increases a little bit, so RPE 7, again getting used to the movements, but you can challenge yourself a little bit more and do that. Week 3, what I tend to do is I start to reduce the reps for the associated exercises. So power I always keep the same relatively. I'd say these 3 here, so sort of the upper body and the main lower body exercise, I tend to start to reduce the reps a little bit, so either 1 or 2 reps, and I start increasing the load. And the RPE stays about, I'd say 7/8 maybe, but relatively more 7. And then week 4 is sort of the maximal week. Same again, I'd probably reduce it down a little bit more. So if we take the squat for example, and we've done 6 reps on the first week, second week 6 reps again, third week I might drop it down to 5, fourth week might drop it down to 4. Because you're going lower in reps, you can lift a lot heavier for less volume, so that's what I typically do, and then you just cycle it all over again. Very simple with that. As I said, this I do on a monthly basis, or even if I don't, I write all this down, but with this as well I kind of know, depending on my schedule, what I'm doing. But if I sometimes can't do a run here, I'll just shift things around. Worst comes to worst, I'll do it on the same day, but I'll just split it in terms of the movements with that. But yeah, I mean, if you want this template, I can create a bit more of a user-friendly one, similar to this. Let me know down in the comments below. I can put something together and put a link out, and I can do that. That's no problem at all. But yeah, hopefully you enjoyed the video. As I said, if you want the workout template, let me know down below. If you want to see more of this type of content, yeah, just let me know and I can do that. Leave a like, subscribe, leave any feedback down below, and I'll catch everyone soon. Peace.